Namaskar and good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome on this special International Women's Day event. Today, we come together to celebrate the incredible contributions of women in leadership, communication, and personal growth, both within Toastmasters and beyond. This event is a testament to the resilience, vision, and impact of women who have broken barriers and continue to inspire others on their journeys. With me is one such leader, who's not only the Vice President Education of one of our host clubs, but a multiple times area director in the District 124, including in the current term. Welcome, Vanitha.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jatin Khilnani. So this was Toastmaster Jatin Khilnani, who is currently serving as Area Director for F2, District 124, and he's also a member of Toastmaster from Abha Hindi Toastmasters Club. And I must say that today we are honored to have a stellar lineup of speakers, leaders, mentors, and trailblazers who have shaped communities and empowered individuals worldwide. Their stories inspire, proving that determination, skill, and leadership know no bounds. As we delve into today's discussions, we invite you to engage, learn, and take away valuable insights to help us move toward a more inclusive and empowered future.
Sure, Punita, thanks for that. Well, to set the stage, we would like to introduce two remarkable leaders who have made contributions to Toastmasters International and beyond. Please welcome Asankhya Mohan and Vandita Shukla.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Punita and Toastmaster Jatin, for the warm welcome and starting the panel discussion on that note. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning to all across members joining in from around the world. We have our Sergeant Adams joining in from the US. We have our panel members here in India. We have people across the world who will be there. Thank you all for making it for this special International Women's Day. And this will be a panel of 9 members. Initially, when we started this, when we thought that idea came into picture, we invited around 11 members. 9 of them agreed. So thank you so much to Toastmaster Vandita, who did all the efforts and made sure that we have this event today. Toastmaster Vandita, over to you to take things forward.
That was a lovely introduction, wasn't it? We are fortunate enough that we have crossed the boundaries and made the geographies come together. Never it happens that 4 clubs join together to make such a meeting in which we celebrate 9 amazing women in Toastmasters. I'm proud, delighted, and really excited. Now, you must all have seen the posters that were going around. You must have seen their introductions. These women might have sounded unapproachable to you, but only because of Toastmasters, we have connected each other to make the miles become really shorter and make them come today. And let's celebrate each one of us who have broken the barriers and have emerged as Victorians. Let me tell you, it has been more than 50 years when women were banned in Toastmasters. I was amazed when Asankhya told me about it. And that made me ponder that why not touch upon this topic and see, from being banned, we have now an international president who is a woman. That being said, I hope you all must be thinking, why were women banned? Yes, I was also thinking the same. But now to answer all the questions, all the struggles that we all women face from day-to-day life and even in Toastmasters, how to become greater communicators, how to become greater leaders, how to make ourselves shine when there is so much of competition. where to find ourselves in the world where inclusivity is being questioned, where equality is being questioned. And we have 9 women to answer those questions. Asankhya, let's introduce our 9 amazing, powerful, and outstanding women who have made it in Toastmasters.
Surely. So our first panelist is fellow Toastmasters India guest is none other than our international president for Toastmasters International, distinguished Toastmaster Radhi Spear.
The second panelist is former District Director Vanitha Rangarajan, Distinguished Toastmaster.
The third panelist is again a former District Director for District 98, Sapna, Ohri, Distinguished Toastmaster.
We have the current District 41 Director, Distinguished Toastmaster Moon Pradhan.
Thereafter, we have our current Program Quality Director for District 124, Abha, Ohri, Distinguished Toastmaster.
We have District 126 Director, Mayuri Assudani, Distinguished Toastmaster.
Thereafter, we have Distinguished Toastmaster Nusrat Huda, serving as the District Administration Manager for District 124.
We also have with us semi-finalist in World Championship of Public Speaking, Nidhi Saini.
Last but not the least, we have Distinguished Toastmaster Anusha Khurana, who is again a district level evaluation contest champion.
Thank you so much, Asankhya. Let's start our panel discussion.
All right. So this will be something that will be divided. Again, all of you might be wondering, how do we cater to all our panelists? So we have something in mind. We will be getting to them one by one. And we'll start with our international president. Thank you so much, Techmaster, for spotlighting oral panel members. Again, starting with our international president, distinguished Toastmaster Radhi Spear. Now, when we were initially pondering about this topic, zeroing on that particular theme for this panel discussion, again, for the first name that came up to us was yours. One question that I had in mind when I was thinking about how do we go about conducting this panel discussion was, again, Toastmasters has evolved from excluding women to now having an international president who is a woman, just like Vandita mentioned. How do you see this transformation shaping the future of women in leadership? Over to you.
Thank you. First of all, thank you everyone for having me here. It is indeed an honor and a pleasure for me to be here. I am so proud of all the districts in India and around the world, of course, but particularly in India, since I am from India, and you folks are doing extremely well. In answer to your question, I think the future for women is really bright. I am so happy to see so many women stepping up to leadership. In fact, if you look at our statistics, Toastmasters has more women than men as members. And so of course, it's just slightly like 51 to 49, but still, we have come a long way. And I'm glad that people are realizing that this is a safe place, a good place to learn, where people will support you, where you have a community. And I think everything is just going upwards. There's more and more that I'll see of women achieving more and more. So I'm really excited about the future. I'm so happy to see how well all of you are doing. And as I was saying, always ask the question, worst case, they might say no, best case, they might say yes. So take that opportunity, because it's very rarely that you look back and regret that you tried and failed. You're more likely to look back and regret that you never even tried. So go ahead and try, ask and see what you can do, and take advantage of all the opportunities. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Round of applause for our distinguished Toastmaster Radhi Spear. And that is something what I feel has taught to me personally in Toastmasters. It's about taking initiatives, making sure you relentlessly try for whatever you might want to achieve. Thank you so much for that. Moving forward to my next panel member, distinguished Toastmaster Vanitha Rangarajan. Toastmaster Vanitha, the question for you is that we would like you to address will be women at different stages of life, be it someone who's a student, be it someone who's a mother, retired professionals, face unique challenges. How can communication skills help them find their voice?
great question, but such a deep question. I'm not quite sure how I can do justice to this. First of all, acknowledging the presence of our international president, distinguished Toastmaster Radhi Spear, and all the other leaders that were called out as panelists. I feel like communication and public speaking in general can help any person, irrespective of the gender, to just find their voice. I think that's what happens, and finding your voice at different times of your career, of your life, the different stages of your life means different things. It for a student would mean just being able to network with the right kind of people, to find opportunities, to look forward, to get that kind of guidance and mentoring. It for working professionals, men and women, and all gender actually, would just mean how you grow in the ladder, how are you able to communicate or give feedback and also be receptive to feedback, the whole thing about managing teams more effectively and everything around it. It for someone who's raising kids, like in my case, it would just mean a whole different level of interpersonal communication, and how you bring out the why before you tell them things to do. There's a lot of things that communication can teach us from the various stages that we are. So I believe with or without Toastmasters, this is like the fundamental or most integral part of anyone, that if you are able to communicate, there's definitely growth and progress in any stage of our life.
Thank you so much. Round of applause for answering that. So again, articulating that so very well. And most importantly, what I feel, even though not being a woman, but every year over the past 7 years in my Toastmaster journey, at every juncture, be it at a communication level, be it at a leadership level, for me personally, there has been someone who has helped me find that voice. Again, I can say a lot of members who are joining in today are my voice, who have helped me be where I am today, taking up that stage alongside with all of you. Moving forward to the next question, to our next panelist, I would ask this. I would like to invite distinguished Toastmaster Sapna Ohri. Toastmaster Sapna, the question for you is: a lot of women experience different struggles. Some fight for leadership, others fight for fundamental rights. How can public speaking be a tool for both empowerment and advocacy at the same time?
Thank you so much for that question, and regards to Madam International President and all the other distinguished leaders who are part of this beautiful session today. I'll talk about myself as a woman first, as a girl who's been brought up in India. And I would say one thing that I'm sure everybody can relate to is that no matter what happens, there are heartbreaks, there are difficult situations, and we just can't share our emotions. What we really feel, what's happening deep down inside of you. And you just try to resolve the situation, and you keep moving on. I did the same so many times and over so many years, be it professional or personal life. And then when Toastmasters came along, I realized that I have a safe space wherein I can go ahead and I can talk about what I'm feeling, things that hurt me the most, situations that have really pulled me down in my life, and things that I really feel can, if we come together as humanity, we can do a lot more better. And Toastmasters brought that platform towards me wherein I felt empowered, wherein I was able to articulate my thoughts. I got that confidence through my fellow club members, through the evaluations I received from the mentors that I had, that I could go ahead and I could talk about what I really felt, and that I wasn't wrong. And that strong voice that I got in Toastmasters, where I felt so empowered, I took that back to even for societal changes. I'm a strong advocate for indie dogs. I run my own NGO for them. And I have my 7, beautiful indie dogs that I have adopted, and I'm going to go and meet them tomorrow. So Toastmasters is that platform that equips women with confidence, with skills, and it provides a beautiful global platform to connect with each other, to talk about the causes, the pains, the sufferings, and what we're doing well, what are the best practices, what really makes us happy. So I really feel that public speaking really helps women to articulate their thoughts, and a woman who finds a voice doesn't just change her life, but she changes the world.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Sapna Ohri. I feel you hit the nail on the head, and a lot of women leaders, members who have joined us, for sure will resonate and will draw a lot of inspiration from the same. Next up, I would like to move forward with our 5th panelist, distinguished Toastmaster Moon Pradhan. Toastmaster Moon, my question for you is: In a lot of conservative societies, women are often discouraged from speaking publicly. Now, how can we create safe spaces where they feel heard and valued?
Thank you for the question. One of the reasons that women do not speak is from childhood. We're taught to be obedient, not to talk back, that we listen. And when you think of the bias that we have and preconceived notion that people have about women, it's the quiet, quaint person who will listen to your father and then maybe your friends, but later on your husband and your mother-in-law. So people who are of the male gender who are in your life. But things are changing, and I'm glad that is changing. And today on Women's Day, I am so proud of all the women who have come before us, who made it easy for us to speak. Right now, as you can see on the screen itself, there are so many women who've achieved so much in life. Acknowledging the presence of our distinguished Toastmaster Radhi Spear and all the distinguished Toastmasters. We've come a long way. As I can see in the top leadership of Toastmasters, where public speaking is one of the skills that we learn, I see a lineup of women, right? So these are the kind of opportunities that can be provided to women, not just as Toastmasters, but from home itself. As a member of the family, if you give a chance to your daughter to speak, to your daughter-in-law to speak, to your mother to speak, to your mother-in-law to speak, all getting the opportunity to speak about everything, about their feelings, about the decisions that are made. At school, let that shy girl who is sitting at the corner speak. At work, let that girl or the woman who is silently working away to put her voice forward, especially during the time when decisions are made. Let women have that chance to put forward their thoughts, their feelings. It is that preconceived notion that people have that we do not have anything to say that stops us. Once we let these opportunities, give these opportunities from home, in school, in workplaces, I am sure every society, regardless of how backward, how conservative, where they are staying geographically, we all will speak up. And we do have a lot to contribute in everything that life has, the society has, and the world has to offer. Give us a chance, and we will speak.
Wow,
Back to
thank
you.
you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Moon, how you interpreted it. And for me, just like you mentioned, it cannot ever be a one-way traffic. It has to be a two-way street, wherein equally the men are important, play a role in making sure at the same time the women play a role in shaping the men around the world. Thank you so much for touching that topic. Next up, I would like to proceed with our another panelist, distinguished Toastmaster Abha Ohri. Uh, Toastmaster Abha, my question to you is, younger women feel they lack experience. A lot of older women fear it's too late. What is your advice for both, if I may ask?
Thank you so much, Asankhya. And before I answer that, I would like to acknowledge the presence of our international president, distinguished Toastmaster Radhi. I'm so happy that you're here, along with, of course, our incoming RAs, Sapna and Vanitha, and the district directors. And I take this opportunity to commend the EC officers of 4 of our clubs, some of whom happen to be district officers too. This is such a wonderful initiative, and I truly appreciate the kind of effort you guys must have put in to get so many of us together. And I'm deeply honored that we have such a lovely panel with us here today. Welcome to our district. Talking about old and young, I think if you see my crowning glory, you'll know what happened. I've been in Toastmasters this is just my 8th year. And at my age, I feel I'm so young and I'm just raring to go. And Toastmasters happened just at the right time. So where's the question of it ever being late? I don't think there's ever a time which is late. you're always on time. For the younger lot who feel they have no experience, my God, just look at them. All of them here, whether it is Punita or Vandita or Nidhi, and so many others whose cameras are not on, and I cannot understand whether I can't figure out your age. But the ones who are there, I mean, just look at them. So, where is the question of them fearing that they aren't experienced, and where is the question of the older women who think it's too late? I think we are just bang on time. And thanks to Toastmasters that they helped it happen. Thank you.
Thank you so much. The way you mentioned, it's never too late to start anything, and again, never too late to join Toastmasters, and never too young. You're never too young to join Toastmasters. I was 23 when I joined Toastmasters, and I still regret I could have joined 5 years earlier in Toastmasters. Could have utilized that my graduation days even in Toastmasters. Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Abha Ohri. Now I would like to proceed to our District 186 Director, distinguished Toastmaster Mayuri Assudani. Toastmaster Mayuri, the question I have for you is, women in smaller towns or underprivileged backgrounds often lack access to platforms like Toastmasters. How can we bridge this gap being in that position, if I may ask?
Thank you so much for that question, Asankhya, and greetings, fellow leaders. And I acknowledge the presence of our International President, Distinguished Toastmaster Radhi Spear. It's lovely to see such leading ladies from the districts worldwide. And kudos to the team to put together such a wonderful initiative, the first time ever. Coming back to the question about smaller towns, I think, true, we need communication skills and we need the occasion to speak up more and more, and not just in big towns and metropolitan cities, but also in smaller towns as well. If you ask me, it is not, Toastmasters, of course, needs to go to places, which is what we are all doing. And I'm sure leaders here will agree with that as well. But besides that, I think what is most important is for our families worldwide, everywhere. It begins at home. It begins with the mother. It begins with the father. It begins with the grandparents, to encourage the girl to speak up, to share what her ambitions are, whether she wants to study, where she wants to go. And I think that encouragement of speaking up starts with family, starts at home. Of course, opportunities will be needed in order to have that platform, and that comes at the later stage. But the first step starts at home. And I know I can speak for myself when I say that I come from a tier 2 city, tier 3 city, but it was thanks to my parents and the upbringing and the education that they allowed me to speak up, share, pursue the dreams that I wanted to, take decisions and support me at every step of time. So I think it begins with family. Then, of course, you need to have a platform. And we were lucky that we have a Toastmasters where it allows you to be. I think I found the lost Mayuri after I came back to Toastmasters after a long hiatus. And I think that is what every woman over here would resonate with. We are loved, accepted, encouraged to be completely ourselves, with and without our flaws. So I think that opportunity that has to start at home, in families. And it's for us to help others around us also start the same and their families around. Thank you so much.
Asankhya, you're speaking on mute.
Sorry. Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Mayuri. That does sends out a message that, again, it's equally possible for anyone and everyone around the world. It's just about making sure you are there and connecting with the right people and making sure whatever huge opportunities are coming your way, you grab them. And again, it's up to us. The onus lies on us who are currently at that position to make sure that that opportunity is being cascaded amongst those who can benefit from. Next up, I would like to proceed with a couple of our champions. But before that, I see our District Administrative Manager, who is the 7th panelist, joining us, distinguished Toastmaster Nusrat Huda. Toastmaster Nusrat, if I may ask, many women in traditional societies hesitate to take on leadership roles. How can we make personal growth more accessible to them? Over to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Asankhya, and a very good evening to all the wonderful women out here, and special greetings and regards to Madam International President, Ms. Radhi Spear. Thank you so much for joining us. And for the question, yes, many women hesitate to take up leadership positions. It's true, especially in small cities like Chittagong, where I belong to. Well, I belong to Chittagong, and Dhaka is the capital of Bangladesh, in fact. So women the ladies in Dhaka are more ambitious. They are more into public speaking, leadership, all of those things. But in small towns like Chittagong, we rarely find women who are more into these kind of roles. We see entrepreneurs, we see those traditional stereotypical leadership roles in women. For instance, they are running a boutique house, they are running a baking shop or an online page, online store, lots of these kind of activities, okay, these kind of leadership roles. But when it comes to speaking in front of a large audience, or when it comes to communication skills, we find that women hesitate. They don't want to come in front of other men, maybe because there are so many, there are conservative notions in their head, because that's how we've been brought up. So how can we make this more accessible to women like us? First and foremost, of course, platforms like Toastmasters International and panel discussions like these that you have organized, Toastmasters Asankhya and Vandita. I think these provide opportunities for women to not just join from their own homes and listen to other motivational leaders across the world. But I think these kind of opportunities will also help them learn at their own pace and be more flexible. I think flexibility is very important for women. Okay, so maybe in our district, like we have a couple of women-based clubs. What we do sometimes in Chittagong, what I do is like for more of these female members to join in, we hold more of online discussions, or we have more online meetings. So they are able to join at their own pace. They have flexibility in their learning. So I think not just Toastmasters, any kind of training, if offered online, if offered at flexible durations, they can commute, they can join in anytime they want. I think that's very important, especially for conservative societies. Another thing is definitely supportive family is very, very important. As some of our panelists have already mentioned, it begins from our homes. So I've been blessed to have supportive family members, because of which I've reached so far. But it's not the case with so many women out here. So as long as they have supportive family members, their parents or their better half, I think it makes their lives a lot easier, and people will come out more. Yeah, so that is one thing. And I think times are changing, and things will change very soon. And what's most important is we should take the lead. Like if a few of us take the lead, there will be many more who would follow us. So that's how things will change.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Nusrat. I'm sure you, being a soft skills coach, bring a lot to the table, and how you have leveraged both Toastmasters and your professional journey in harmony. And again, with your better half, that does resonate with a lot of people. And again, we look up to you, how you have been carrying on a lot of responsibilities in our district. Moving forward to a couple of champions, we have distinguished Toastmaster Nidhi Saini. I would like to go ahead with you first, who has been a semi-finalist at WCBS. Toastmaster Nidhi, my question for you is, you have reached the world champion in public speaking. How can women use competitive speaking like this to build everyday confidence in their day-to-day lives?
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Asankhya. But before I move forward, a little correction. I'm still not a DTM, even though a little gap is there. So I would just want to correct there. It felt good. Thank you so much for that. And thank you, everybody. It's been, I think it's a pleasure to be in such esteemed company. Thank you so much for making me a part of this. And an interesting question that you've just asked me. Something that I believe, and this goes with my understanding at Toastmasters. Until the time I was restricted to my own club, I never realized how vast an ocean this was. The first time I went for a conference, that's the time the yearly conference, annual conference at District 41. That's when I realized, oh my God, I was just like the frog in the well. I did not even know what was out there for me. And that's when I started exploring. And what I understood was that being a part of competitive speaking allowed me to see how far I have come as a speaker. And it's because if I am the best one in the room, I'm in the wrong room. There's no challenge for me. So I was able to assess, be it timing, be it the way I was presenting myself, be it the way I was telling stories, I was doing my storytelling, how I was connecting with my audience. So I think competitive speaking did competitions definitely help you become a better communicator, because you have, if I talk about Toastmasters, that's like 7 minutes. You have to put everything together. That dish has to come out in 7 minutes, or otherwise you're out. Nobody tastes it. So I think that is something that allows you to face your fears and absorb from what others are doing, imbibe in your own style, and then present it again. So something, what I have understood is, again, what everybody, I'm sure whoever has been there and done that or reached in the competitions and progressed with every level, turn that fear into fuel. I'm going to feel fearful. I'm going to feel the same emotions, the same rush inside me when I feel, when I feel excited. So why not feel and train my mind in a manner that, yes, I'm excited, I'm going to do this. So that's what I do now. And I'm sure this is something that can definitely help everybody out there who wants to build their confidence and still participate in competitive speaking. Just go ahead, do it. It's all yours. You'll find a better version of yourself. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Nidhi, Saini. And your essence, the message, the essence that I was able to imbibe myself was being comfortable, being uncomfortable, being comfortable is something that we can all make sure that we learn as we take up the stage. And that is something that you have shown personally over the past few years. Lastly, moving forward to our 9th panelist, distinguished Toastmaster Anusha Khurana, who has been a District 41 evaluation champion. Toastmaster Anusha, the question for you, if I may ask, is women in leadership are often judged more critically. Now, how can they turn feedback into fuel for growth?
Good evening. How can women in leadership roles turn criticism into fuel? Don't mind, but this question itself is women-oriented in the sense we are assuming that a woman has to fuel herself with criticism. Why not a guy? I mean, I don't frankly think this question caters to women per se. Why should I, as a woman, have to learn from criticism? I think it's a gender-free question, and I'll answer it in that sense. I feel that if you want to learn from criticism, you have to have insight and you have to be in touch with yourself. At the same time, you've not got to be too much in love with yourself. Assess what is being talked about. Look into the criticality of the statement which is being made. Sit back, maybe talk to people who are close to you or who are known to you, who would assess you in a fair manner. Thereafter, if you feel the criticism is warranted, you can go ahead and try and attenuate it, lessen it, try to make yourself a better person. But at the same time, you've got to remember there are only 3 things in life which are there for sure: death, taxes, and criticism. So I feel that to fuel yourself with criticism is a great idea. But at the same time, you've got to take it with a pinch of salt. And you've got to remember that it's not criticism which is going to fuel you. It's your locus of control. How do I react to my environment? How do I figure myself as a person? Do I let others control me, or is my locus of control within me? The aim is to get, the locus of control is a term in psychology, which says whether you evaluate yourself from within yourself or you let others evaluate you, whether it's outside. So if you can let your locus of control more or less be within you, then you're on the way. You are spearheaded to going ahead and becoming not immune to criticism, but being positively fueled by criticism. So next time, Asankhya, when you ask me a question, just make sure it's not gender free. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Anusha, and again for answering that with this, with all your might. And thank you so much to all the panel members. I'll hand it over to my co-panel moderator, Toastmaster Vandita Shukla, to take the second leg of this panel moderation forward. Over to you, Toastmaster Vandita, to take the proceedings forward.
Thank you so much. And they always say women first. I allowed Asankhya to be men first. So, okay. On that note, I have a very interesting question to ask our international president, DTM Radhi. If you could introduce one global initiative in Toastmasters to uplift women across different backgrounds, what would it be?
I think the answer is simple. I don't even think we have to come up with anything new. If we could just get women to join Toastmasters, I think that would help them. If you look at all our backgrounds, you can see so many of us have the 100-year backgrounds. The very fact that we've lasted 100 years shows that this is the tried and tested method. This method works. We're in over 150 countries today. So I just wish we could give this opportunity to all women and get them to join. Many panelists today answered questions about helping in underprivileged parts of the country or underserved parts and what can we do. So I just wanted to take this opportunity to mention that we can offer youth leadership programs there or even gavel clubs for younger children under 18. I just want to mention, I have 2 daughters and I always wanted them to be in Toastmasters, but I was impatient. So when they were in middle school itself, I made them go to youth leadership. They didn't really want to go. I kind of pushed them. You can do that in middle school. And I have to say, it really paid off. When my daughter was in Cornell studying chemical and biomolecular engineering and had to give a presentation, her professor said, I have never seen an engineering student speak so well. How come? And she said, Toastmasters. Even though she'd never been a Toastmaster, it was just youth leadership. So even if you give 8 weeks to our kids, to younger people, they will do so well. They absorb it like sponges. So my point is, we should try and get everyone to join Toastmasters, especially women, because I was fortunate enough, like many people mentioned, it starts in the family. I only have sisters. My mother was determined that all of us do well. She said, you all have to be self-sufficient and independent, learn to speak up. I was extremely shy. I was fortunate that I found Toastmasters. So to me, if we can find a way to get more people to join, and I want to mention, if you say even youth leadership is too expensive for our younger children in these underdeserved areas, please write to Toastmasters. We have a Smedley fund. We will help you. There are ways in which we can help our sisters and brothers to join Toastmasters. So take advantage of all the opportunities. And I don't think we need anything new. Just help them get to it.
That was amazing. I'm not sure if I would have known about this YLP and Smedley Fund if not for this panel discussion. So thank you, Radhi, for answering that question and putting light on it. Now, for Vanitha, you know, there are women who are afraid of leadership because women in leadership are often called bossy with a lot of attitude, whereas stern men or strict men are often called great managers. So my question is along those lines. What's your message for women who believe leadership isn't for them and who are being labeled bossy or anything that is belittling them?
All right. First things first, in order for you to do anything extra, whether it's leadership or just doing a little bit extra, you need to make sure that you have the kind of support system that lets you do it. So that's the first thing that I would ask for women. If you're looking at like a leadership role, the first thing is make sure that you have a support system, build a support system. It could come from within the family. It could be financial freedom that you have that can help you get those additional pair of hands that you need. Mentors that you'd reach out to is the first thing that I would think of. When it comes to taking up leadership, have a support system. The second thing that comes to my mind whenever we have to raise our hand and, say okay for leadership or even go ahead with this, is remember that it's not an equal plane yet. The seat at the table is not guaranteed. And there's a lot of times where you really have to fight your way out. So speak up when you have to. It's better that you speak up and then get denied than to not speak up at all. Is something that I keep telling myself. I wish I had spoken this. I wish I had asked this question. I wish cannot get you anywhere, rather than, okay, so I asked and then let's see how it goes. So the second thing that I would say is to speak up and at every opportunity that you get. The third and the most final one is there's always going to be somebody that does not like you when you are going up leadership. If you want to be liked by everyone, you have to be an ice cream seller. And because we can't be ice cream sellers, you will have to be okay with that version that you let someone else see you as long as you feel doing the right thing, integrity at the highest possible. Just be okay with that version that you are becoming and cut the noise. There is going to be noise for sure when you want to do things, especially things that others have not done. You're probably the pioneer in this, trailblazer in the leadership track that you're taking. So as long as you have the support system, you're able to speak up at every opportunity and cut that noise that you feel will drag you down or pull you back, I think you'll be okay in any leadership role that you take. How does that sound, Vandita?
That sounds a lot of self-esteem and self-belief. Thank you, Vanitha. That was an amazing answer, and I'm not going to die with regrets. So my question to Sapna is, you mentor a lot of women, right? And there are women who have faced past suppression or exploitation or harassment. And, a woman sitting next to you, maybe in metro station or in your office table, could be one of them. So how can Toastmasters create a safe space for these women?
I start with a woman who's more closer to my heart and in my life, and she's the muse of a lot of my speeches, and that happens to be my own mother. So my mom is barely 10th pass at that point of time from, a Punjab secondary school, and she couldn't even speak in Hindi, forget about English. And when we moved places, we went to Udhampur, which is a very small army town in Jammu and Kashmir. Everybody spoke in Hindi. And it was very difficult for her to even pick up those Hindi words. And obviously, like any one of us who's trying to pick up something new or trying to learn something new, what's that one basic human trait that we all have? We'll make fun. We'll pull their leg, right? Oh, you can't, it's like fun. But my mother, she did not hesitate even once when she was trying to either learn Hindi or a few words of English. And she moved on from there 20, 25 years down the line when she can actually sit with me and watch an entire English movie or even watch a regional language movie with English subtitles. She can speak now. She knows how to use technology. She knows how to use WhatsApp. She knows how to use a Facebook. She knows all of that now. And she doesn't hesitate to ask. So now imagine me being brought up in a household like this, wherein I've barely seen, in my own house that women were ever hesitant to say that they can't do this or they are not good enough. When I stepped out into the world, I met a lot of women Toastmasters who come from a similar kind of a background wherein they feel that they're not good enough. I do have a club member of mine. Whenever I talk to her, she always has a smile on her face and she's come a long way. She's on a level 4 pathways and she goes on to the stage. She's a sergeant at arms in our club, Chandigarh Toastmasters. She goes on to the stage. Even if she hesitates, I help her to practice. I'm always, after the meeting, I always tell her, you did a fantabulous job. And she said, no, I don't think I did good. But I always keep telling her, I said, see, from where you started the day and, where you are today, I am proud of you. And that really brings a huge smile on her face, that confidence that probably she takes back every meeting, every Saturday back home with her, that she is doing well. And this is not the story of one Rita ma'am or my own mother, but this is the story of a lot of women. And I wouldn't even say it's women, but it's men. It's a story of me as well. When one of my managers told you're not good enough, and I took that with me for almost 10 years of my working career, until another manager came along and he literally helped me to see another side of it as to how, if I don't know how to do this, what skills I need to learn to get better at it. And that's how Toastmasters has always been to me. So I think the conditioning that we have over all these years, these centuries, that we are not good enough, the societal, the societal biases that have been towards women, certain sections of the society, the imposter syndrome as well. It's been there. What Toastmasters really brings along, and what has happened to me and what I do to a lot of my own mentees, is you don't have to be perfect, you just have to be present. Just be there, perform. The world is not going to, the world is not going to come crashing down if you get onto the stage and you forget what you had to speak. But I'll always be there standing, clapping for you, because you took that courage to get onto that stage and face the world and say what you wanted to say. That's important. That one person, if you can become to someone who always has their back, that is what will change the entire world for them, their entire psychological mindset, that if I'm not good at this, but I have someone that I can lean on. I don't have to be perfect at it, but I just have to ensure that I show up so that I can go ahead and I can do this better. If it's not today, I'll do it better the next time. And how you can support them through and through. If I'm not available today, is there someone that I can, get along to help my mentee? And I have a lot of women Toastmasters that I do that. If I'm not good at something, or I know that I won't be the right person to help, I try and get help. I try and create that system around them so that they always feel that they have a strong support system and they can get over this feeling that I'm not good enough. So I think leadership is not about knowing everything, but it's always showing up and lifting others. And that's what that's what has happened to me. And that's what I believe in doing to all the other women around.
Yeah, thank you, Sapna. So not always we have to find and look for only our chair. Let's bring one more chair for one of our supporter. Thank you so much, Sapna, and we will always look for more space and cater to the other women. Now, something very interesting with Moon is that Moon has launched a lot of ventures. So there are women, and I know them, they don't aspire to be in corporate leadership or Toastmasters leadership, let's say. How can Toastmasters help them find their voice in other areas of life? How do you help women find their own voice?
First of all, Toastmasters didn't happen to me because I wanted it. I had a friend, another female Toastmaster, who encouraged me to join, regardless of the fact that I had been told about Toastmasters by my boss for the longest time. I never had not joined. But it was a female friend who took me to Toastmasters club meeting that made me a Toastmaster. And when I came here, a lot of support came in, a lot of mentors. My mentor is distinguished Toastmaster Deepthi, who really encouraged me also. And these fellow Toastmasters, not just women, but other men also, so generally just Toastmasters, helped me to take up leadership roles here. And what happened simultaneously is that I got the confidence to take up leadership role in my workplace also. So that confidence that I was getting by taking up responsibilities in clubs, I was getting confidence. So what I was building, it was confidence. So I know that in Toastmasters, regardless of what you learn, what path you are in, whether you were in the old system of learning also, throughout the years, there's one thing that we definitely learn, and that is confidence. And when we have confidence and we get some small opportunity also, we do take up that responsibility, I would say. So I was able to take up responsibilities at work. As you said, I was able to launch 2 newspapers. I was not the owner of the newspapers, but I was responsible for the launching part because I was the marketing manager. And I was promoted so I was the first marketing manager for this organization. And I was chosen over other men colleagues. They were not happy. I talked to my husband also about this, saying like, they're not happy what to do. He said, no, you've been chosen, you take it up. So having supportive family, having supportive mentors and other leaders in Toastmasters really built that confidence in me. And I was able to take up the responsibilities and launch events. I've managed events also and launched products at different times in my life. So different responsibilities come, whatever the responsibility is. I'm proud to say that I am not hesitant to take up those responsibilities. So join Toastmasters, get that confidence. And when I say join Toastmasters, don't just join Toastmasters, but take up the opportunities that Toastmasters provides and build that confidence in you so that you can transfer that confidence in your work life as well as in your family also. Toastmasters has a lot to give.
Thank you so much, Moon. One amazing thing that I have noticed in our community is software engineers become corporate trainers. Sales managers become professional image consultants. So I've seen people transforming their life and going on into another career field only because they found their own lost interest in Toastmasters. So, you know, you may try your hand as well. Thank you, Moon, for building our confidence in that as well. Now, I have been working with this woman very closely, and one thing that I have noticed is she meets deadlines. And I keep wondering how she meets deadlines. So, Abha, Ohri, ma'am, being the vice president yourself, how do you balance leadership, education, and personal life without burnout? And how do you meet deadlines?
Well, I do manage a chain of schools. And of course, I'm in leadership in Toastmasters. So that also requires a significant amount of time. And of course, I have my personal life too. But the beauty about all three of them is I'm very passionate about all three. I'm passionate about Toastmasters. I'm passionate about my schools. And of course, family, I see more of something which I'm very passionate about and not merely a responsibility. Because I feel when you start thinking responsibility, then you somewhere down the line, you think you're making a sacrifice here, or it's a duty that you're doing. So words like sacrifice or duty, I find them very negative. I would prefer to say that my passion drives me. Having said that, I think what's very important in all of these leadership roles is to be able to create your team, whether it is at home, whether it is in my profession, whether it is in Toastmasters. Because as a leader, I cannot work in a silo. I need a team. And identifying members in that team and grooming them and nurturing them and making sure that they are as committed as you are, and the ability to be able to decipher which person in your team would fit in which area. I think that's very important. So I run 3 schools, but then I have my principals in all of 3. I have my academic coordinators, and each of them have been handpicked by me, and each of them have been trained and nurtured by me for over 10 years now. So for me to run my schools, even if I have a 4th or a 5th, I know I have this core team with me who I have nurtured over the years, who are going to be there to support me. Because it's not possible that I'm going to get involved in every minute detail. So that takes care of my schools. When it comes to Toastmasters, ever since I have been in leadership, whether it was as an area director or a division director or as a CGD or now as a PQT, I have been closely watching every person I come in contact with. And I guess I have that ability to figure out what drives each of them. Because once you know them, their personal stories, how committed they are, whether they're equally committed, then it's very easy. So whoever has been in my team when I was an area director continues to be a crucial part of my team, even now when I'm a PQD. And over the years, these leaders who I have worked with, these members and leaders who I have worked with, I have held them very close. And every year when I take up a role, I come across so many more. And then, when you start nurturing them and you make them feel you are one of them, you're not above them. That's very important. The moment you start saying that you're above them, then that destroys the whole camaraderie. So nurturing a team and getting together and being there for them and telling them that my mantra for success in Toastmasters is we are in it together. We are in it together. So if somebody is facing some challenge in the professional life or personal life, we all pitch in. The entire team pitches in. And that is one thing which I got to hear a lot during my term as a TPRM or CGD, and even now, they never know who does what because the work is just done. It is the internally we all know perhaps somebody was not able to meet a particular deadline, but then each of them, pitches in. Two of my team members are here also, one who's been with me for 2 tenures now. So we understand, when you start working together, when you've nurtured them, when you know what the person is going through, you're there to support, they are there to support you. So then meeting a deadline is so easy. You are a crucial part of my team, Vandita. You know how easy it is. I think you find it easy to meet the deadlines because we're all there. We are in it together.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
same happens at the family front. My husband has retired. I love teasing him and saying that he's the home husband now, and it's a role reversal. And I give him the shopping list and I send him out to buy it, to do the shopping or to take care of when the gas is over and he has to order a new gas or pay whatever. So, because I have nurtured him also, and I have nurtured the relationship, so it has been an easy thing for me to convince him, and I've been conditioning him for quite some time that now it's time for a role reversal. So I think it works. And the same goes for the children. They understand and appreciate and respect what I do. So they are there for me. So I think that's how I manage it.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And one big thing that I could infer from her addresses, if we want to go ahead, we need to have steps in the stairs, not the steps in the stairs, but the hands that would pick us up if we go down. So let's build a team. Let's figure out who could be the next leaders, and meeting deadlines, only collaboration can help you. So thank you so much, ma'am, for bringing this up. Now, I met a woman long back and in a conference actually, and I was anchoring the conference, and she asked a question. I have joined my corporate after 10 years of break. And she said, men look down upon me. So tell me how to upskill. Tell me how can I showcase myself that I have not degraded myself in the 10 years. So Mayuri, there might be other women as well who take career breaks for XYZ reasons. So how do we ensure that they are not left behind?
I think, thank you so much, Vanitha, for that question. Each one of us has multiple things going on, and like so many of us have already expressed, it's not just only Toastmasters. We also have a professional life, personal life, and now, of course, Toastmasters life. And not everything can always happen just the way we want it to, because life comes and throws its own curveballs at you. What is important to know is, of course, managing all the three, but also prioritizing one over the other. And so if it happens that you need to step down for a certain period of time, it's all right. You're not running away. You're not going completely. It's just taking a little break. And that break can happen to any one of us at any point of time. While we are maybe at the beginning of a leadership journey, at Toastmasters, at profession, or maybe we are actually at the higher rung, but we just don't know when it might happen. But what happens is we become capable of taking those decisions and knowing when to step down. So it's all right to take a break, but not go away completely. A break means you're just not in that position of taking up decisions maybe, but then coming back is never going to be a problem if you never went away. So it's not a complete breakup. It's just taking a pause. And that's what has happened to a lot of Toastmasters leaders. From my point of view, I have not really, left my profession. There have been changes in the profession, my choices completely, but never has it been that I have left it ever. Likewise, but in family life as well, there have been upheavals, there have been changes, but the family system, the root, the values, they still stay. So it's never a break complete. It's never a complete cutoff. And so it's a pause and we come back. We come back with more strength and come back with more women friends who are there to support one another. I've had the best of friends all my life. And thanks to Toastmasters, my family has only grown. And I think that is what is the most important, to not go away completely. Take a pause because you might just have to, but then come back. And it always happens for the good.
Yes, Mayuri. And it is always there that women are asked to take a break. Could be, when they're starting the family, could be, when they're getting married, or for any reason. Don't be afraid of taking a break because you don't know what happens tomorrow. So only take a pause. And that too a minute one. Thank you so much, Mayuri, for encouraging us. Now, I have seen Nusrat being the only female leader sometimes when the whole top team is male dominated. So, and she has been very humble and making her point across with a lot of humility and a lot of grace. So, Nusrat, what's your secret? And what is the unexpected leadership lesson that you've learned as a woman when you are in a male dominated space?
Thank you so much for that question. And I always feel humbled when I am actually in presence of such amazing, wonderful leaders. And especially today, being part of this panel discussion has made me even feel even more humbled and honored, in fact. It's true that many a times I'm the only female leader in a group of amongst a group of male leaders, especially in Bangladesh. We are trying to grow this leadership among women, and I have been trying as much as possible ever since I was an area director. I've been trying to motivate our members, female leaders, to come up and take up more leadership roles, whether it's being in being the president of the club or being an area director or any other roles in our leadership journey. And I feel blessed when many of our female members do look up to me and they say that, yeah, we also want to be in leadership positions like you. It's true that at times I feel, why am I the only one? Like, I want others also to join me in as leaders. So how do I manage this, or what makes, how does it work for me? Well, I feel the men, and I must acknowledge this, that though it's International Women's Day, I must say that the men that I've worked with, the leaders that I've been with, they have always been very supportive. They've always been very supportive, and no matter what, they've never made me feel that I'm the only woman leader, and they never made me feel left out. So whether it was an important discussion, an important meeting, whatever it was, like my opinions mattered, and they valued whatever I had to say. I think that's the reason why I've never felt that, okay, I'm the only person here, and I'm feeling left out. I think this is important. Support of the male community that we have, the support of the male leaders that we have in our Toastmasters community, in our fraternity. I feel if they encourage more female leadership, and if they encourage us to take up such posts and make us feel more comfortable, make us feel more at ease when they are around us, I think more of such women leaders will come up in future as well. I think that is one important thing. And what is that lesson that I've learned? I would say that it's not always important to be on the spotlight. Okay, as a leader, if I want to be always on the spotlight and I need to be there, I have to speak out, and everyone has to listen to me, the focus has to be on me. No, that's not how it is. Leadership is not about that. Leadership is about getting the work done in the best possible way that you can, but at the same time remain humble and remain true to yourself. It's not like I need to be at one, always on the spotlight. I have always maintained that. I felt that credit should be given to where it is due, and people who work hard, they should be actually acknowledged. And it's not the leader, the person who is at the top, who should always be spotlighted.
Thank you so
Over
much,
to you.
Nusrat. So sometimes not adding spotlight is the best way solution. So yeah, and really, we might have challenges bringing up women in leadership, but then if we are one, let's take it gracefully. So thank you, Nusrat, for bringing that element of grace in all of us again. Now, Nidhi, since you are the master of communication, let me ask you one question. I have been a girl who have faced a lot of things in public. Let's say, men touching me or me being in a very uncomfortable situation. And these are certain topics which we don't speak in open spaces. So how do we encourage women who hesitate to share their personal struggles? And how do we embrace vulnerability in storytelling?
Thanks for that one, Vandita. And before I share something, I want to share something which is on a lighter note. This is Toastmasters is one platform where you share whatever comes to your mind, be it your vulnerability, be it the biggest prank or the goof up you made in life. You go there, you stand blank for 5 minutes, speak for 2 minutes, and come back. But the best thing that happens there is everybody applauds and say, "Well done," and you go back. So nobody judges you there. This is like your playground. This is like your practice ground. This is such a safe place where you can slowly let go of those embedded emotions that are inside you. And as women, like we've been hearing it here, we've not been conditioned to speak up many times. I come from a family where I was always told, keep quiet, you're not speaking, right? If I'd smile, stop smiling so much. So most of us have been conditioned and we live with that conditioning for several years for various reasons. We go through a lot of things, we go through a lot of experiences, we never speak up. We're only hiding things under that carpet, we're just shoving it up. But the moment you start sharing speech by speech, one by one event at a time, even if it's for a minute, you give a glimpse of that event, it's like therapy. You go to an unpaid counselor and you come back feeling rejuvenated. And in a space where people are they're not judging you. They're listening to you. They're feeling you. Just look at what happened here. Everybody has been sharing experiences which is relatable to each one of us. Even men in the room, for that matter. It's not women centric. Each one of us has seen that. So if I put that in a story and I present it and I share a part of me, it releases me. It makes me a better speaker, better communicator. And let's be honest, I need to own myself. And that's the only way to connect with people. If I own up to who I am as a person, I can connect to people easily. So I believe it's important. Speak to express, don't speak to impress. I don't have to be there if I win, if I lose, what will people think? I just want to own those 7 minutes. I want to share what's that little part of me. It releases me of that, that little tied up emotion I have inside me. I've seen that work with me, and I think vulnerability is really, really, really powerful. It's not weakness. People say it is, but trust me, it is not. And if I can practice here in Toastmasters, I can practice it in the world outside. Because then I shut a lot of mouths who try to point a finger at me because I want it. I don't give you the right to now point a finger at me. So I think it's beautiful to be relatable to people.
Thank you so much, Nidhi. And I think the first thing in our ISC ballot is the speech should be universal in nature. So universality only comes through relatability. So be relatable, and women have a lot of experiences, and yes, storytelling will help you, and people here in Toastmasters don't judge, we listen. So that trend on Instagram has been inspired from Toastmasters. So thank you, Nidhi, for bringing that up. Now, my last question to Anusha is, and I have seen that, and I see that today as well. So for example, one of the line manager, or let's say a tech lead, is throwing impositions on one of the female member. And it happened with me personally as well. I faced a client who was misogynist. And it took me a while to get a courage and tell my line manager that my client is misogynist. So many a times we women are not able to give the feedback or evaluation as a whole. So how do we develop this critical skill when maybe we are a good speaker, we may be the best communicator in the room, but giving feedback and giving the evaluation is not our natural skill. And that too, when it is so critical and it is, it is going to make a lot of impact. So my
Yeah.
question is to you, Anusha.
What you're asking me is, how do I go in for an evaluation, which is a critical skill,
Yes.
but it is not going to be liked really too much,
Yes.
right? That's the question.
Yes.
I'll give you a small example. I work for the government. So one of my colleagues, a junior colleague, he came very confidentially to me and said, Mom, I'll tell you something about yourself. This is on a lighter note. You got light eyes, and that causes problems. People get scared of you at the first go. So I started laughing because there's no way I can help my light colored eyes. They are there and they're there to stay. The reason why I cited this example is, again, that criticism is going to be universal, right? Now, Toastmasters has taught us to do it very beautifully. So the sandwich approach, which we call, you layer it up with something positive. And I always believe there is something positive which is going to be there in every person you're going to be talking to. If there's nothing positive, you can encourage some positivity in that person. So if I have to evaluate somebody, I would first of all give them something which is utilitarian for them, which they believe in, which is truthful. I really believe that, evaluation is all about being truthful. I remember evaluating a contestant, and she had made some gesticulations like this in the contest, and I mimicked her. It didn't go down too well because I began with a mimicry. This was in a contest in which obviously I didn't get to go beyond, I think, the second or the third level. So what I learned from this was that besides being genuine, besides being critical, you have to present it in such a way that it doesn't hit very hard. So you begin with something which is positive, and then you come down to something which is actually there, which needs revamping, which needs to be upholstered, which needs to be improved, improvised, and you give it as it is. You don't need to layer it up with sweetness or a sugar pill there. There you give it and you give your evaluation of the person as it is. And then you put yourself in that position and you say, me in that position would have taken it like this. So the moment you're able to switch positions and you're able to empathize with the other person whom you're criticizing, so-called criticizing, and you're able to do it proactively, positively, nicely, then you'll not get the backup. And I've always kept something really nice for the end. I remember evaluating Nidhi, in fact, at one of the I think Nidhi, we did it recently. And what I loved about her was her confidence. So I saved that for the end. And she herself was so generous. She told me that it was a positive evaluation. So I believe that evaluation is lovely because you're talking about what all of us love ourselves. There's nobody who doesn't love themselves. So when you're talking about somebody who loves themselves, just do it in a nice way. Be genuine about it and don't beat around the bush when you've got to criticize. criticize, do it genuinely, not cloak it, sandwich it between positives, and it'll go down well. Back to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Anusha. So, one important announcement. Whatever you learn in Toastmasters, try implementing it outside. So thank you, Anusha, for telling us that we can implement CRC, and there are people who are going to listen to us, even if we are trying to, bring up something really important, even though it looks like a criticism to others. I hand it over to my fellow dear, cute little moderator, Asankhya. He has something interesting to ask. Over to you, Asankhya.
So we have one master question that we decided that we would like to know. Like most of the times, most of the Toastmasters who I came across, is Toastmasters something we do not go looking out for. It's something that happens to us eventually. We become part of the process, eventually take up roles, be it in communication, be it go the leadership way, or experience both. Someone who is starting, a young woman, distinguished Toastmaster Radhi, the question is for you. Someone who is starting their Toastmasters journey today, what are those 5 things that they can do starting off their Toastmasters at this juncture that would help them reach and become an international president someday? Those 5 things.
Thank you, Asankhya. I have to say there's so many pearls of wisdom given by the women on this panel today. I have been so impressed listening to all of them. I can tell that they have seen the value in Toastmasters. If some new woman joins Toastmasters, I would say to her, take advantage of all the opportunities that Toastmasters has to offer. We don't join Toastmasters to become excellent Toastmasters. We join Toastmasters to learn skills that we can use in everyday life. So when you start out just being a member, you learn so many skills. And as you move up, being an officer of the club and area director, so on, there are more things to be learned. I mean, just a simple example, as a club officer, you're going to run a contest. You're learning project management skills. You're learning how to collaborate. You're learning teamwork. You're learning delegation. You're learning budgeting. You're learning speaking skills, writing skills. I mean, there's so many. We don't explicitly state this. We just think, oh, I have work to do. As many people mentioned, it's a win-win. You are learning and you are helping. And I tell you, human beings feel really good when they help others. But in this case, you're helping yourself as well. So no matter what position you take, it's a win-win. I remember telling my co-workers at work that, I have to go to Oklahoma on a district visit. And they're like, who do you know in Oklahoma? I don't know anyone there, but like someone said, Toastmasters is like my extended family, right? So your family is there everywhere. So I don't know if I can say 5 specific things, but what I want to say is that this is an investment in yourself. This is a skill you'll take with you no matter what you do. For example, I worked in the telecommunications industry for over 30 years. If they sent me for training, it would be very technical, maybe voice over IP or something. And that skill I can only use in the telecommunications industry. But the skills you learn in Toastmasters, you can use anywhere. And so it is an investment in herself. And others have made, so many things have been mentioned. I just want to say that, you can't change many aspects of your life, the family you've been born, the circumstances, but you can play the cards that life has dealt you to the best of your ability by improving your communication and leadership skills. So if she finds Toastmasters, it is a safe place. It's all about experiential learning. Take advantage of all the opportunities offered and you will do well. So absolutely, so much to learn from Toastmasters.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Radhi. A round of applause for all our panel members and my co-panel moderator, Toastmaster Vandita Shukla, for taking this so smoothly. We will now have a couple of, few questions from the audience as per the time that we are left with. One question that I see that has been asked about almost half an hour back when the panel discussion was going forward was by Toastmaster Rupal. Toastmaster Rupal mentioned she listens to podcasts, YouTube videos, reads a lot about speaking, communication, and even she feels she becomes blank when she takes on the stage. With respect to just reading vis-a-vis compared with becoming or going through that stage, how to work upon this aspect to become a great communicator? How can I improve myself taking that stage? vis-a-vis compared with just reading or just listening to the podcast or videos. Would any one of the panel members like to take this question? Yeah, Toastmaster Radhi. Yeah.
One of my favorite quotes is by Mark Twain, who says there are two types of speakers, those who are nervous and those who are liars. And we in Toastmasters have learned how to cover our nervousness. So I would ask this person to start in Toastmasters. It doesn't matter. I don't know if any of you came to the 2010 conference in Washington, D.C. We had a world champion of public speaking start the conference and give a speech. He barely said 2 sentences and he forgot. He just went back to the lectern, picked up his notes, looked at it, resumed. The audience is on your side. They want you to succeed. They don't want you to fail. So don't worry, But I know it takes time. So one step at a time, try your best bit by bit. It's a safe place. They're all there supporting you, helping you. So go for it.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Radhi, for that wonderful answer. I'm sure this is just about taking that first step, and it's all for us to, like, the sky's the limit. Thank you so much. I do not see any other question.
Can I add something?
Sure, Toastmaster Anusha.
I would suggest is start small. Start with your family, start with your friends. If you don't like that, then venture out. Because the moment you start with your dog, start in a room in which you're alone, record yourself, and slowly start branching out to 2 people, 3 people, 5 people, and soon you'll be able to speak. It's okay to freeze. I've seen a beautiful speaker freeze 3 times, not once, 3 times on 3 different occasions. And today she's a DTM, if I'm not mistaken. So I think it's all about starting, taking the plunge, and then you are absolutely on your way. Thank you.
Thank you so much for adding to that, Toastmaster Anusha. Okay. Do we have any other questions from the members in the audience?
Yes.
Okay.
Feroz Fazil from Allahabad.
Okay. Please go ahead, Toastmaster Feroz.
Yes. My simple question is that whatever you speak or whether you are nervous and all those questions have been answered by most of the panelists. The little thing which I have to ask is about your dress when you're speaking in front of an audience. What is the best dress which you need to wear? Is it something which in which you are comfortable enough, or you have to look also very smart? I mean, comfortable and reasonably well groomed is good enough, but do you have to add some style in that, or just keep yourself?
If I may ask Distinguished Toastmaster Vanitha to take up this question.
All right, so I'm probably the last person that should be answering this, but I will do this because I just go with what is comfortable. I do check with an audience to check whether this is business formals, semi, casual, or what kind of dress code to have. But I am 100% wearing something comfortable. I'm somebody who walks into a meeting, whether it's Toastmasters or anything else outside, wearing a sari, but with sports shoes, because I know my feet will ache the whole day around. So am I thinking what you're going to think about me, or whether I'm dressing for my comfort? I'd probably choose comfort, but I will try and manage the dress code that it takes and keep it as authentic as possible. Because if I'm uncomfortable, I'm not going to bring my best self when I speak, irrespective of how I'm dressed. So that's my small take. But I definitely think there's definitely another panelist who's better equipped to answer this question. So if anybody else wants to chip in, thanks.
Can I try? Because I teach this in schedules, in modules. Can I try on this? There's a study in psychology.
Sure. Toastmaster Anusha.
Study in psychology in which 2 people were taken. One lady was very well dressed and one lady was shabbily dressed. And they had to write an essay. And the audience was divided into 2 groups. And the audience had to say which lady had what characteristics based on her essay. Later on, it was found that the essays both had written were identical, and people were just judging them as to how they were dressed. So dressing is really important, but as Vanitha said, comfort is predominant. A dry run should be done in what you're wearing. Feel comfortable in what you're wearing. It should be just presentable. It should look good. It shouldn't look shabby. it shouldn't look worn out. And I think that's about it. And you should feel good in it. That's the essence of it. But clothing, dressing, because you are judged in 17 seconds when you enter an interview. This is a Stanford Business School. And that time you are definitely going to be presenting your body language as well as your dress. So 17 seconds is all it takes to impress or depress your interviewer. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Anusha. I think International President wants to say something good.
I'm sorry, Nidhi wanted to say something as well, so I'll be quick. Living here in America, I have to tell you, we've always learned don't judge a book by its cover. But the reality is, as Anusha just said, people do. And so I do agree comfort is important, but please do dress to match the occasion, because whether you like it or not, unfortunately, that is a reality. Thank you.
So, thank you so much for adding to that. I saw Toastmaster Nidhi Saini raising her hand. We'll proceed to her and then we'll move to Toastmaster Deepthi, who has raised her hand. Over to you, Toastmaster Nidhi.
Thank you. I totally agree with whatever has been said, but assuming that this question came from a speech perspective, I would like to say that yes, dress formally, you should be presentable on stage. Comfort is important. However, if your speech requires you to dress a particular way, do it, because that's going to enhance the impact of your speech. Like recently, one of my mentees from a club, he came dressed in, for his ISC, he came dressed in a Goan shirt, this beachy shirt. The reason was very simple, because his speech was about Goa and the holiday near the beach. So it created a different impact. He came totally dressed like a tourist. Only if the speech has something similar. Otherwise, I think you come dressed the way we all are right now here. I think that should be totally fine. So that was my little take on that.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Nidhi. We will proceed with the next question. I can see.
First of all, I want to thank all the panelists for the answer to my question. Thank you very much from Feroz Fazil from Prayagraj Toastmasters Club in Allahabad in India.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Feroz.
Feroz Fazil.
Yes, thank you so much, Toastmaster Feroz, for being there. Next up, I would like to proceed with Toastmaster Deepthi. Please, here you go.
Yeah, thank you so much. And thank you for this amazing session. I see power in every single question, every single woman here. And I hope it brushes off on us too. I joined late. I don't know if this question has been covered before or not, but as a woman playing multiple roles and multiple hats, sometimes at least I do get into a guilt trip, especially when it comes to my children. So I'd like to ask to the veteran Toastmasters, the younger generation, how do you manage, or how do you handle that guilt? Yeah, that's my question.
Toastmaster Vanitha has raised her hand, and then we'll come to Toastmaster Sapna. Yeah.
I get asked this question a lot of times, with the whole multitasking and everything. And I really thought I should put it out there, Women's Day and all of that. I think predominantly women try to be perfect every time, all the time, everywhere. And that needs to somewhat be, you'll have to shake that and be okay with not being perfect all the time, everywhere. I'll give you a couple of examples. Okay, so when I am at a district event or anything at Toastmasters, I am okay being a not so perfect mom on that day. If my children are eating junk food on that day, their hair is not braided properly, and they're watching a little more TV than they usually should, I'm okay with that. I used to beat myself and believe that, oh my God, because I'm not there and things are happening. The moment I started being okay and giving my 100% to the Toastmaster event that I was at, I felt like I was doing better, just knowing that it's okay to be imperfect elsewhere, as long as you're perfect in one particular role on one particular day. The same thing for a work meeting. In a district leadership role, I would just keep everyone informed that this is a very critical customer that I'm dealing with and I'm unavailable, and who's the next person to reach out to at moments when I'm unavailable. and be okay that I'm a zero Toastmaster on that day. Nothing about my kids. I would think about my full focus would be at the client that I'm working on the escalation. And same thing for family vacations as well. Nothing else, no work and no Toastmasters would be happening. So I'll finish everything on the deadlines. And, I actually take a little bit of Toastmaster calls on vacation because there is no vacation for Toastmasters. But predominantly, I'm trying to juggle and being great at one place. And I think that has just removed that entire idea of being guilty at some point, because you'll catch up as long as you're feeling good at the end of the day at that one place that you are at. I think you should be okay. And ask yourself this: have you given your 100% on that day at that place? And if you're okay with that, then I'm saying that need for being perfect all the time should be somewhat erased eventually.
Oh, Moon was also trying to answer. Moon,
Yes. I'll come to Toastmaster Moon, and before that, Toastmaster Sapna, you can go ahead. Yeah.
Deeply, I'm not married. I'm single, but I have my mother and I have my 7 dogs, and then I have my Toastmasters. I have my professional life as well. So Monday to Friday is all office, nothing else that happens. If I just happen to sneak out, please, I hope nobody's here from my office. I just carry my laptop, go catch up with my friends for lunch, and I'll come back. But guilt, first of all, I think, I don't know why, but society puts a lot of these kind of words only on women. What half of the time even men are not available. Why a man or a husband or a father is not asked what really happens when you're not there for your kids, right? Why it's always the woman just because she's given birth. And I see a lot of reels of Indra Nooyi as well online, wherein she also has answered a lot of these questions. I would say that prioritize what Vandita has mentioned, right? So I know my mother has already given me an ultimatum. 2 Sundays in a month, I have to take her out for lunch. So I ensure that I don't do anything. No Toastmasters, no club meetings, nothing. It's just that time with her. Out of that 2 Sundays, I know I have to go meet my dog. I don't entertain anybody. Saturdays for my Toastmasters and everything that I do. And I do that. I meet my Toastmasters friend. I go out for meetings. That's all that I do. So I think if you know how to prioritize, the time between you, and don't forget, I think nobody, probably, I'm sure, if anybody is going to come back and tell you, you are a human being first, and then you are a mother, daughter, sister, wife, and everything else. Start looking at you as a human being. Start looking at yourself and say, this is what I need. If I need a break from everybody and everything, just go ahead and do it and never feel guilty about it. Stop thinking about all these words that society has just put on us, dumped on us, just because we couldn't speak at one point of time. Now that we can, just stop thinking about it. If somebody asks you a question, do you feel guilty? Just ask them, do you feel guilty if you do the same thing? That's about it.
All right.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sapna, for adding to that. Toastmaster Moon, please.
Yeah, I also had to say something similar. I really want to ask you, Toastmaster Dipti, does your husband feel guilty? I don't want to say what society says to us, but I want to ask, why do you feel that way? It is us, ourselves, who are making ourselves feel guilty over things that are a shared responsibility. Why are we parents and not just one parent? Because that child is not just yours. The responsibility lies equally upon your husband also, right? I'm very fortunate that I have a husband who cooks breakfast, takes care of children. I'm not saying when necessary, and I'm not saying that he helps me with breakfast. I'm saying he cooks breakfast, he takes care of children, because that is his responsibility too. I do my bit, he does his bit. We work together as parents. Us women should not feel guilty about a shared responsibility and doing something that we want to do. I will not talk about Toastmasters, vacation, work, whatever it is. Just remember, it is a shared responsibility. If your husband feels guilty, then that day, maybe, I will ask, why am I feeling guilty?
Wow. Thank you, everybody. I think the message that I take home is about setting boundaries too. I mean, that is the be all and end all. So how and what context do I use to set those boundaries will help me give my 100% to that part, whether it is about sharing responsibilities or it's about going on vacation with family, blocking out everything else, or giving my 100% to work. Right. So thank you so much. I feel so good and blessed that I went ahead and asked this question. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster. Thank you so much, everyone, for again joining in. We'll be winding up due to paucity of time. We won't be able to take any further questions. And the questions that were such that even our panel members were so excited to answer. That was the best part. So it's always a two-way traffic, and that's what makes it engaging session. Before we can call it a day or again a night, I would like all of you to turn on your videos, wherein we can take a quick group photo, group screenshot. You can come up with a personal emoticon emoji just to express your emotion for this panel discussion. We'll just go ahead in the next 3 seconds and on the count of 3. So a 1, 2, 3. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in with this. I would like to hand it over back to my co-moderator to take it forward. Over to you, Toastmaster Vanitha.
Thank you so much, Asankhya. So men are sweet as well. So thank you, Asankhya, for telling us men are sweet and cute. Now, you have heard both of us too much. To close the event, we have someone special. And he is the only active, let's say, second active member from my club. He's manager at operations at Tata Steel. He hails from Kharagpur. And I really, really like this person because he never says no to me. So thank you for being the yes man in my club, Satyaketh Das. And the other wonderful lady, I remember her because of her potato curry. So she is a humorous speech champion, international speech champion. She is the champion of her children. She's champion for me. She has been champion for a lot of ladies, and she's coming all the way from a really great event. Thank you for making time. So 2 phenomenal club members who I invite to the dais, Satyaketh Das and Jayati Datta. Stage is all yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vandita Shukla. That was indeed some beautiful words for me, and it will ring in my ears for a long, long time. As we bring this insightful and empowering session to a close, let us take a moment to reflect on the powerful narratives and issues, lessons shared today, from leadership excellence to communication mastery, mentorship, to breaking down societal barriers, and our panelists have truly demonstrated what it means to lead with impact. The 9 Devias over here. Over to you, Satyaketh.
Well, this event has been more than just a celebration, a call to action, a call to amplify voices, champion diversity, and foster environments where every individual can grow and thrive. The stories that we heard today remind us that progress is not just about individual achievements, but uplifting of those around us and creating the ripples of change that extend far beyond the immediate circles.
Toastmaster Jayati, you are on mute.
I'm so sorry. To all our panelists, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom and experiences. To our audience, thank you for being a part of this wonderful journey. Let's take today's inspiration forward and continue striving for excellence in leadership, communication, and inclusivity. I also take this opportunity to thank our moderator, Asankhya Mohan, to have conducted this beautiful session and keeping in mind all the women in question. And so thankful for you to come up with an function or an occasion of this order. Thank you so much. Over to you, Satyakit.
Thank you, Jayati, Toastmaster Jayati. And we wish you all a wonderful evening and a future filled with growth, success. So see you everyone the next time.
Thank you so much, everybody. We now stop the recording.